you? Some sort of hexacan?
Welcome to the Worst Damn Crypto Show, period. I'm your host, Romanian Dan, and today I got with me Famous and Identity Block. What's up, boys?
Yo, what's up?
What up?
Yo, we got the famous identity block. Let's fucking go. First of all, thank you for showing up, man. Awesome. A lot of people that watch us, very few people that watch us. This shitty ass show, the worst damn crypto show. They love you, man. So despite everything, we're good. I appreciate it. I respect what you do. But for some people that don't know, in case they're rewatching this bullshit ass show, can you explain people what you've done for Hex and then what you believe in and who you are as a Kryptonian, sir?
Oh wow, what I've done for Hex, that's a heavy statement. I mean, I definitely don't think I've done. I mean, I guess I started in Hex basically day one. So whenever Richard announced it sometime in 2018 as Bitcoin Hex, I was waiting for CFT tokens. So we were back in 2018. It was almost like a lot of people were just waiting for the next pump. We saw the pump of Bitcoin in 2017, late December to 19, almost 20K. And we were just trying to jump on the next thing. So I tried to jump on Bitcoin Private, Prime Coin that was going to be a fork and turn to Bitcoin Prime. Later, the CFT token, later Bitcoin Hex. And then that wait, thankfully on 2019, I was just waiting. So instead of just keep jumping on, I remember, I think 2019 was the year of the food coins. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was like a lot of ICOs, IDOs, IEOs, and it was just like food coins and all this stuff. So I was just chilling, waiting on like Stripe chat and Bitcoin Hex chat, and just, it was like waiting on, there was like thought about the logo, thought about why we were trying to take the Bitcoin name or the brand or whatever. So lots of FUD. It was different FUD, I guess, because it was almost like we were just waiting, as in waiting for a product that we hadn't put any money. There was just, we were
You're just
interested.
trying to do it like Bitcoin SV, like it's just another Bitcoin name, something.
Yeah, I mean, back then, I guess at that point there was Bitcoin Cash, but I wasn't in. I guess I never got into that. Never got into the forks. Never got that much into Ethereum. Even when Hex came out, I only had like 2 ETH, which was like $250. That was about it. So the only thing I did have was the strategies that Richard had been trying to teach us all through 2019. He was mentioning the EOS launch, which it was very similar. I think it was like 360 or 350 days. So it was very similar. He had even shown us a chart. I remember that UE chart. Like, so shout out to Richard for doing that one, because that's the chart that I remember thinking, all right, well, I'll go on day 3. Because I remember thinking, well, obviously there's going to be this guy, that guy, the other guy coming in with 1,000 ETH, 500 ETH, 100, and me with my little 2 ETH. I was just going to do nothing. I don't even remember how much Hex you would get on day 1, but it had to be very little, probably less than 100 grand units per one full ETH. Maybe 20. I don't remember. I just remember that it was like 20,000 units to get a billion Hex. So that, there you go. You can do the math. If you divide a billion Hex by the 21,000 units, it'll tell you how much we got. But then by day 2, which is, it's another thing, I think I mentioned it earlier on the spaces with you guys, so you might have heard this. There was just not that many metrics. Nate remembers that was it. We just had go.hex, and then we would see the ETH that was going in per day, and you figure, all right, well, on day one it was 21,000 to get 1 billion units of hex. Day two, that's when it started going down to 500 million. So then it went down from, I think, maybe like 21,000 to maybe 8,000 or 6,000 total ETH to get then 500 million hex. So that was it. I got in and all this stuff. And then, but to answer your question, I've been here. I've been trying to help with what we did and try to help new people, especially when Pulsechain came out, to try to, because a lot of people were coming in for Pulse. They wanted to get their PRCs. They were into meme coins, or they were maybe into metaverse coins. So they were seeing that the gas fees were getting higher on Ethereum, and they wanted to be in Pulse for that. So little by little, I would just try to be like, hey, have you heard about Hex? Like this and that and the other, like this coin, I don't know, no expectations. And shout out to Motley, because he was the one that had that idea in March of 2021. He was telling us like, hey, I don't know, I would try to put as much of your altcoins and whatnot into Hex, because we might get a little pump before the sacrifice, which we did. Obviously, we went from like 2 cents to like 50 something. We did a good 25x. And so we were telling that we're just trying to help people, just spending hours and hours on main chat, maybe 8-10 hours. Sometimes I would go to work and I'll be on main chat, hang out, be on main chat. And we were doing all that stuff until maybe September, October. And that's where, like, I want to say things started just crumbling, because other people started going into other projects. And that's when the chat started dividing, obviously, because some people were going that way, some people were staying, some people were going into even other projects. And I want to say, I mean, do you want me to get into how deep do you want to go? Like, do you just want to just cover that, or?
Bro, I'm rolling a joint, bro, so you can do whatever the fuck you want, man. Let's be serious here, bro. It's the worst show ever, man. So if you want, bro, say everything. Say whatever your heart desires, however you want it. Say monetized. Fuck YouTube. Fuck everybody. I don't give a shit.
There we go.
It's the way it is.
So I want to say maybe October and September, that's when I started seeing that law that had been approved in August, and they were going to do it again. They were going to revisit it, relaunch it, they were just going to do a couple amendments and then try to get it to vote again in November. And that one, I figured that what they were trying to do was just limit certain platforms, certain DeFi platforms, but that what they were trying to do is just limit some platforms in the US. Later, that's when the rumor started that they were going to try to do a Fed bit license, which bit license is what we were discussing off air. It's a license that they did in New York. It was supposedly going to bring all this adoption, bring in all this big money. It was going to help with regulation. And it just 8 years later, there's just not that many of the licenses. It's actually gone down instead of up. So it's not brought any type of adoption, at least for New York. And so I've started just telling that everywhere that I could. I was like, all right, well, anyone that started bringing in all these projects and all the stuff that maybe they were telling me, yeah, I'm going to try to launch this, that, the other. I was saying, well, this stuff that they're going to pass, it's going to prevent that type of platform in the US. You're not going to be able to use it because they're already going after BlockFi, which at that point they hadn't fined them yet. But they hit him for like $100 million. There was $50 million for the states, $50 million from the SEC. So yeah, it was different, and I was just trying to tell people like, hey, be careful about this, be careful about that. I noticed that some of the projects that they were talking about, they would not talk about the tax implications. And that's what I do. I work with taxes. So it's just a lot of people, I know this is a controversial subject. They said taxation is theft, this, that, the other. To each their own. I learned the tax rules because I don't like taxes. So that's the only reason. I was like, the only way I'm going to be better at other people at the game is I'm going to learn all the rules of the game. You know, like a lot of people just focus on tokenomics, they focus on this, Richard Hart law and all this stuff. I tried to cover everything because I was like, what's the point? I can make 100 million, you know, percent, or I can make 1,000x. But then if I leave it all on taxes because I had to pay FN 90% or something on taxes because I didn't learn where I could sell or where I could buy, or maybe I don't learn what is an opportunity zone or how to protect my money in a different way, or a trust, or it's just, there's so many rules that you can learn to your benefit, and they make you a better, you know, all around crypto person. You know, it's not just so yeah, that's what I was doing. I was just trying to help the community back then, and then a lot of people just took it as I was fudding. I was just trying to FUD a specific project, and it went the way it did. You know, I got banned, muted, censored, taken out of the chat, and it is what it is. You know, well, April of 2024, they'll remember my name. You know, because all the stuff that I said, it's they're gonna pay taxes on collateralization that gets liquidated. They're going to pay on transactions that they were saying, oh, it's okay, just take a loan, and then it's not going to count for this or that, but then they're going to have to pay it for income. So it's just, I tried, like I said, I try to help, and then a lot of other people just fought me out. It's still happening, you know. Some people just still don't like that I'm outspoken, but I just prefer people to just know everything that's coming. That way, there's no surprises later. So
Ooh, are you serious? People really buzz over your experience. That surprised me. I tell them, shut the fuck up. But like, what do you know about taxes? It's like, it's like you call a plumber and you say, "Yo, everybody, come to my house, fix this faucet," and then you're looking at him and you're like, "Yo, bro, that's not how you do it." So why'd you call me?
I mean, at one point it was like that, because at one point you could tell that you were. I was debating with people that didn't know that much about crypto taxes, or just didn't know that much about hacks in general. So it's almost like, all right, well, I'm talking about something that. I mean, I remember at some points talking about the Genesis shares, and the Genesis shares, they're still making 102 APY. And I would talk about that, and people would tell me, no, nobody in Hex makes 100%. And at the point, I remember the point I had that conversation, they were making 160, because it was like April of 2021. And I remember one day just getting banned by an admin because I said that. And I was like, sorry. Okay. I thought like some people knew about that stuff, and nope. They're like, no, you're not making that. I was like, all right, sure, cool. So we tried to help. We were putting hours and hours and hours just trying to help people, let them know, hey, this, that, the other. And then sadly, just a lot of people went with others that they might have 2 years in crypto today, or maybe they have a couple months in the community. Maybe they never had Hex. Maybe they dumped their Hex for being liquid and doing some other stuff, and then putting their money in some other sacrifices or whatnot. So some of us were like, hey guys, we're trying to teach you the basics. So in like 13 years from now, I can go and cash out something that's actually worth something. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point in me having millions of something in the future that I can't cash it out for Holland tulips or something, you know? I mean, like, so what's the point of that?
Well, you know, that's someone's like goal, right? Like, what do you want? Now, if you look back and you just say, "Ah, shit, I could have," I think it's very greedy to say anything. But like, you know, when we look at people and we say, "Oh, well, you know, you left after 3 years," you left. It's your fucking choice, no? So unless someone put a gun to your head, well, we can't blame you for that, can we? But like, that's
true.
okay. Someone should be outspoken about that. Like, yo, bro, I got a gun to my head. What am I gonna do? I instinct. Okay, cool, bro. Yo, what the fuck?
I mean, but the thing was,
I don't
like, for
know.
example, when we were doing like the Bitcoin Hex chat,
Yeah.
like my thinking is, I wish there was someone like me back then, because that's what I think we needed. We just needed someone to just take charge and say, hey, you want to go FUD, bro? Go FUD somewhere else. We're doing this thing. Let's talk about real stuff. Why are we talking about Bitcoin? And I mean, it was hours and hours of conversations about just, oh, about Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that, the brand, the name, the this, the logo. and it was just hours and hours of just wasted. I mean, I'm sure maybe Finn is in the chat. I'm sure Finn went to Bitcoin Hex chat and remembers that it was more, wasted time than it was actual debate, actual discussions. And I mean, in September, I wouldn't say between the summer and September, especially when Orca started hanging out more in the chat, Crypto Dan, because Crypto Dan was more technical and he could just break down all kinds of stuff. Dude, the chat would run. I mean, we were running that thing like it was like a customer service site. Like we would have people coming in the middle of the night, coming from UK, and they would get the same answer that we were given 8 hours earlier. We were making sure that everything was up to date. Like, oh, we can't find this information. Don't worry, don't worry. We'll talk to a dev. We'll find your answer. We'll make sure that this, that, and the other. But later, it got weird. It was more like, all right, well, let's just do AMAs of this and then the other, and then people were censored. Some people had to like raise their hands and all kinds of stuff. When it never got that, in my opinion, it never got that busy. Even when we was 60, 80 people at the same time in the chat, there was maybe 8 of us talking. And then we would just take our times, have our
it's
little
like
rants, and
kind of like Twitter. I think it's just that's what people want. Like some people want to listen, and like I realize some people just want to listen. And crazy, man, because I think like what you guys could have done, what could have happened, but it's done, like where we're at now. I think you're right. As much as I know nothing because I'm not American, but I think you're right where it's like if there's something legislatively, I think that's the word, right? I think if there's something legal stopping people, well, they should take action. It's legal.
yeah.
It's changeable. No, it's not a fucking.
Yeah. And I
It's
mean,
not a.
the politicians that approved it originally, they had, in their original intentions or the original proposals, they had said that we're not going to go against DeFi stakers, we're not going to go against developers, and we're not going to go against crypto miners and validators. So that
So
way
then
we're
who?
protected as Pulse, Hex, and PLSX, because it would cover all of us. But then they approved this thing that says any. And my issue is that today, that lady that's there yelling, she's saying, all right, well, cool. I'm not going to go after all those 3 because that was the intent. But then what happens in 5 years when she retires? Or what happens in 2 when she loses her, noggin? And then she's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm changing my mind and I'm going by the law. And the law says any asset is a property that is a security. And at that point, we're in trouble. Because
No, she
I don't
can't do
want to
that.
be in crypto for the next 5 years looking over my shoulder every
No, she
time.
can't. Then that means every song, every picture is a security.
Yeah, no, whoever approved that law just lost it, because it doesn't affect just crypto. You're right. It affects other digital assets.
Videos.
Yeah, no,
No,
the law
come
was
on.
it was.
They're gonna change it. They're gonna have to change it. It's
I
gonna
hope
be
so. That's what I'm
yeah.
hoping
There's
that's going to
people with
happen
big
between
money.
now and April and January of 24. But you know what? Now that you mentioned something very important. You said they're going to change it. Here's the deal. I think what we need to do is back it up. Because what I think we need to do is just one quick little erase, remove any digital asset, add DeFi stakers no, developers no.
No,
That's what I
no,
think, because
because
what they want.
Bitcoin doesn't have DeFi. Bitcoin doesn't have DeFi.
No, but I mean, it's just Bitcoin for them. It's just already a commodity, so it's like
And
outside
Bitcoin's
of
a
that.
currency. Bitcoin's a currency. I'm telling you, bro. You're right, but you got to be more positive about this. We're nothing like Bitcoin. We're not a currency. So
Oh,
if
I
they say
agree.
digital currency, are we a digital asset or are we a digital currency? We're not a currency.
In the great point. In the law that they passed as digital asset. So they said any digital asset is property that is a security. Mm-hmm.
So I think what we would have to, because like I've read jurisprudence. I know
Nice.
I don't know the law, but I've lived with it my whole life. And I can understand that when you look at it and you could fight for something, like you got to look at it and like, okay, so then if that's the case, then is Hex a currency, or is Hex a digital asset, or is an ERC20 a currency, or is in the sense you got to break it down. And I think
Based on
that
us
the
or
law
based
just,
on Gensler?
yeah, the law can't just exclude us. Maybe that's why we're not that big. Because if we were that big, they'd exclude us. So if they're gonna go for Bitcoin or Ethereum, we're nothing like that.
That's
So
the
maybe
thing. In
what
their world, Bitcoin and Ethereum becomes or, I mean, they already are. They are commodities, and then they're managed by CFTC. But then everything else, then it's either managed by the SEC or this new digital FinCEN that they're trying to propose. And that's my concern, because my concern is that if we continue to say, don't worry, they're going to change it, don't worry, they're going to change it, but before they don't amend the law that they approved in November of 2021, what they're going to do is just create an agency and say, all right, well, you see this shit law, you're going to manage it. And then they're gonna be like, oh great, I'm this powerful new agency, and I read the law and it says any digital asset is a property that is a security. So what I think we need to do is just not create a new agency, not create new proposals by all these people that have been funded by Sam Bankman-Fried and all these fraudsters, and instead let's just delete the shit they created before it even takes effect in November of 2024. That's what I think that we need first. And then, sure, I mean, like, let them create whatever they want.
if they do that, that shit's gonna boom, no?
That's what they told me in 2012. So look at New York. Is it booming in New York? I don't think so.
Bro, it boomed in 2013, bro. Oh shit.
I mean, Bitcoin. I mean, people were buying in Coinbase. So it was like Coinbase was like the only company. I mean, I'm sure people will remember. I mean, maybe there's other companies that prospered, but I don't think it's more than 50. Because my thinking is, if they come up with this license 2014, and this is so successful that people are like, dude, take my money. Here you go, New York Department of Financial Services. Take my money, because I'm going to make so much money in crypto that I will pay you 10 grand, 100 grand, $1 million for this license, because I'm going to make $1 billion. So I don't care. But the reality is that there's less bit licenses now in New York than in 2017. So that lets me know that there's less
But it was
adoption.
expensive. I tried to get one in Canada. Fuck, it was
I
like
know
$600,000. Forget about it. No, it was like $250 actually. No.
I mean, you have to be insured. You have to have,
yeah.
So that's the way I see it. It's just, if we just don't do nothing, because the law hasn't taken effect. It's approved. It's signed by Biden since November 15 of 2021. It's called IIJA, or Investment Infrastructure Jobs Act. And it was supposed to start, like I said, 6 weeks ago, January 1st, but then they were so, the exchanges are so out of whack, and some of them are declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Some of them don't have the right paperwork. Some don't have their SARs, their suspicious activity reports. Some of them weren't doing OFAC compliance. So basically, people would be transferring coins from hacks, or maybe they have passes to a Tumblr or some other website that maybe Silk Road or something. And then, but the new brokers, the ones that are accepting the new deal, they will stop them. So that's why I keep telling people, is like, guys, the problem is that we're not having a technology problem. We can skirt this if we wanted to. There's VPNs, there's Monero, there's Tornado, there's other type of tumblers. There's ways of hiding stuff. No tax advice.
So what's your plan? What's your plan? Tell us. Explain it. No, what could we do? Because it's good to know what could we do, because that could spark some brains. What could we do?
So you're asking me, like, what's my exit strategy? Yes, I have like my parachute and I'm like out the window with the plane going on fire, and like
Nah, I gave you the goblet with the 5 fucking stones. Like, what do you do?
Oh, easy. I changed the law. We amend the law. We go back and we reduce
Yeah, but you
government. I
have
don't
to
want
change
more
the law. That's the
government.
goal. Like, okay, taking over the world, which is
No,
snapping the fingers.
I mean, like, no. I mean, I'm still talking about there will be some type of regulation. I'm not saying like you're free for all and then everybody has a shit coin tomorrow. Like, go get identity coin tomorrow. Like, you're gonna get 10,000x. Like, no, not like that. But
No. But I mean, like, what is the plan? Like, what if you could tell people, okay, this is it. This is what we need to do.
so I'm
I
running.
understand
I'm
you've been
running
saying it.
OCC or the Department of the Treasury tomorrow. Um, it's easy. I tried to convince the politicians to amend that law so that the new regulators that are coming after me, because now, like I said, the lady from the Treasury, Janet Yellen, she said, yeah, sure, we're going to have this consideration. But I know that when it comes to echelons, like considerations here, law is like up here. So if the law says this lady retires tomorrow and then the new person goes back and says, all right, the law says this, and that's my thing. So what I really want is, let's not create a new agency. Let's not add new proposals, new stuff to the smorgasbord. What we need is, let's amend IIJA to remove that from saying any person is a broker, and actually fix it. Say centralized exchanges are brokers. Me chilling at my house making, staking, I'm not a broker. That's one thing I wanted to say. And then on section 2, which it says any digital asset is a property that is a security based on the code of 1986, the tax code. I wanted to say any digital, I'm sorry, DeFi stakers, anyone but developers, and anyone but validators and crypto miners, because the problem is, sure, we're going to be fine because we're already in. So they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with us. They're going to make us either accredited investors or give us some type of something so that we can, because I have my stakes locked 3 years before the law even, it was even signed, or 2 years from December 2019 till when they signed it in November of 2021. But who I'm thinking or who I'm fighting for is who comes next. Who's gonna be buying Hex at 30,000 units per T-shirt? Who's gonna be buying Hex at $5, $10, and still make money? Because that's another thing people need to understand, that even when we go up, there's gonna be opportunities, but because the protocol allows it. But if there's someone there gatekeeping, not because we're on page 201, but because they say, hey, you can only access crypto that this broker sells you. And at that point, if Coinbase decides that they don't want to handle Hex, then only people from outside of the US can handle the product. And like I said, I mean, I'm cool because I know that how the product works. So I know I'll make my money and I'll make my payouts and I'll make, but for the new people, especially someone like me that got here with $250, that's done. Because then to get into products, then you had to be like, all right, well, now I'm an accredited investor. I got $1 million chilling at the bank. Da 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 da. So I guess that's why I'm so loud. I guess because I could just sit back and say, well, fuck it, I'm making 100 APY. Like I don't need to, I don't need to do anything but just wait 10 years and then cash out the original ones, and then just maybe restake some more Genesis stakes. But obviously, I'm not going to make the same APY, but I can still protect the shares and then just keep getting at least a second round before they start getting diluted. But there wouldn't be new people, because it would be New York. So anyone that's in New York, just they'll know. And if they were before 2014, when the law was when the bit license was approved, they'll see why I'm so loud. They'll understand, like, oh yeah, they were promising us this, and this, and bankers coming in and regulators fixing everything and no more scams and no more rugs, and none of that happened. I mean, basically all that happened was that the people started leaving New York. Like They went to Puerto Rico, Wyoming, Jersey, anywhere but New York.
So what do you think the take is on ETH and BTC? Like the ratio between
After 2014, you mean, or now, or
No, because I like asking people who've been there, like me, like regardless of what the new people think, like, bro, this ETH BTC, right? Like, when is it gonna happen? Like, we all know, bro.
ooh,
Like,
now you're not
like,
gonna like my answer to that. My thinking is, since the banks are approved by OCC since summer of 2020, I think crypto is, well, Bitcoin, and you said Bitcoin and Ethereum, so the commodities. I think they're just going to manipulate the crap out of them. Just the same thing they do with gold and silver, and
yeah,
then
but
other.
they're gonna use Ethereum more. Like, look at Bitcoin. Now they got
It's
NFTs.
just, I
Then
don't
they
think
got
they're going to
now,
build
now,
on
now
the
we got
thing.
no, wait. My plebs,
Mm.
my plebs
Mm.
have NFTs now.
Oh, okay. It's just, I think that what they're going to do is they're going to turn 2.0 into like their digital silver.
Ordinals, and then like EVM, and now you got this, like, bro, we're getting all we
No,
need is
I
the
don't think they care
15%
about any of
ratio.
that though. I think they're going to do like second layers or other EVM type chains that are going to handle that type of, you know, type of like horizontal
You talk about
whatchamacallit.
ETH is broken.
No, it is. I mean, it is broken.
Yo, good dude, you're gonna buy my NFT for $100 on Bitcoin? Yeah, it's gonna cost you $625 transaction fee. Okay, cool.
I don't think they care. I think they care price go up.
It's like, dude,
So
you're gonna
I
get
think,
Bitcoin out of it.
I mean, I think that's it. I think they want to buy Ethereum at 800 and then it's 8,000 in 3 weeks with no development. No, I mean, they want the Dogecoin model. They want Elon to send a tweet talking about ETH, does a quick 10x, they dump, and then they go back and then they do it again. But I don't think they give a crap about us that are actually on DeFi and are actually, you know what I mean? Like we care about the things. So I just don't see them giving a crap. So yeah, I maybe I'm super wrong, but it's just I look at what they've been doing with gold and silver now for however many years, and then got people like JP Morgan and all this stuff. They get fined every 2-3 years, and then they just keep doing it. So I was like, well, if they like to do that Monday to Friday, 9 to 4:30, don't you think they're going to like it even more than 365 24/7? You know what I mean? Because it's there.
Oh, but they like crypto, bro. They love crypto.
Oh,
Man.
they love it.
I really
Especially-
think there's a
They
cybersecurity
love
issue
it.
with your country, man. It is a cybersecurity issue. Because if they analyzed everything on crypto, they know it's all fucking intelligent, stupid fuckers that just get everything they want. So, like, it is a cybersecurity to get involved in this. They don't want to tell.
Oh, okay. So this is a good conversation. You're gonna laugh at what I'm gonna say to you. I don't think they know. I don't think they can figure
No, I
out
think they know.
USDC from Monero, from Hex, from Dogecoin. I don't think they even analyze the code. Whenever they find anyone, I don't think they.
I don't think any money moves in your country is done without the intelligence of your military understanding that how is
Oh
our
my
country's
goodness.
money at risk. Like, bro, like, well, you guys
Well, I
have
mean, no,
money.
you're
You
talking
guys
about
have
settlement
money,
layer,
bro.
the Fed. Yeah, no, I mean that portion, sure.
Cybersecurity wise, bro.
I'm talking about at the smart contract level. Like when the SEC is gonna go find someone, like when they used to go and then they went and find EOS. I don't think they went into the code and checked the 23 block producers and checked the constitution of EOS. I don't think they did any of that shit. I think they just went like, hey, give me $25 million. Like now, go Brock, go fetch. I think that's what happens. And same with other coins. I mean, I was surprised the other day that when they accused the Quan, they actually said, no, it looks like he was manipulating the chain and this, that, and the other. I think that the only way that they're so sure to say that in public when the guy hasn't even been served, and obviously this is not a case, it's just like a public comment from some bureaucrat. I think that is because someone ratted him out. So someone said, hey, I was in the team. I used to do this. I used to do that. Because I've never seen like an investigator or like a DA or someone say like, oh yeah, we know that he was doing this, and then just say it publicly like that. You know, like some people would say like we have suspicions that this was happening and that was happening allegedly, or so I think that's what they know. I don't think they've gone to do the blockchain and verified the Terra Luna contract and said, "Up, yep, here, look, yep, we did all this forensic work and we found this." Dude, I think they're just doing straight up like people ratting out. Like this is what I think is happening.
No,
like,
well,
good old back in the day.
I don't like saying this, but like
Mm.
in every way of like good and bad, there's always a mule. There's always a mule. There's always a test subject. That's how we work. So like the pawn's always going first, right?
Yep. The thing is like, what's gonna happen with
So,
that guy?
They're so sure about what happened. Like they're like, bro.
Yeah, but to say it like that, or public, like, bro, that's ballsy. That's
bro,
like, yep.
Bro, what's happening right now in Palestine, Ohio? Before we actually get cut.
Yeah.
But don't say anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
anything, and they know what happened to Do Kwon, but they don't know what the fuck's happening. Hey, come on.
True. That's fucked up.
Hey.
Yeah. That, you know what? That's a good question.
Well, they don't know if OJ got the glove, but they know Do Kwon. Like, come on.
Now that we mentioned the quad, so what are your thoughts on that? On the SEC going after someone that's based out of
Bro, that was bait as
Singapore?
fuck, bro. They just took Luna and paired it to Bitcoin. Like, I remember my friend looking at me and saying,
Mhm.
I remember we were at dinner and he was like, bro, that's gonna cause some serious problems. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, legal. Like, he's like, bro, this is disaster. Get the fuck out of Luna.
Really?
I remember telling people like, yo, Luna's gonna get fucked. Luna's gonna get fucked. Watch. And everyone,
Dude, I remember telling that, but you know out of what? Out of UST.
But then I made money off of it getting fucked.
Oh, really? No, I researched it for a little bit on like late 2019 and 2020 when I was working on the book. But I was telling people not to touch it because I remember thinking this can depeg and then it's game over really, really fast. But everybody was just, I mean, a lot of people were going after it, and I was like,
When
no.
it did like it's like 6 time going down to zero, you know. I remember that. Frosty was like, Frosty was like, bro, he's like, it's at its complete shit. Fuck it. Who gives a fuck? It might go up. There's idiots everywhere. I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, some people pumped it. Yeah,
it tripled.
Some people were making money as it was going down.
I mean, I didn't put anything. I remember. I think I put $100. It went $300. I was like, fuck that. I took it. I bought some shit with it. But like, it was like just to say, like, some people, Frosty made money too. I know he did.
Yeah, some people.
It's like money. It was like fuck it. It's like the same reason why sometimes I buy things in real estate too. Yeah. It's like sometimes you look at it, you're like, but it's at the bottom. Like there's sometimes that you think it's at the bottom, but then sometimes you know it's at the bottom.
It pumps.
When a house is repossessed by a bank and getting sold by the bank, it's at its
I remember
bottom.
telling a couple of people to get in, and it did like a quick 8x or something, and then it started like getting sold out again. And then that's when they started announcing, like, oh no, we're coming up with this new coin. And I was like, I was like, dump this, dump that, don't touch the new one, don't go into any. Because at that point, you could tell that their proposals were to get the stakers out.
So what about the Shanghai? Oh man! Shanghai right now. Two choices. I think this, and I want your opinion on this.
Yeah.
Two choices.
Mhm.
Bro, okay, wait. Before I say it, I'm very surprised they're following through with their fucking plan.
Mhm.
So there's two choices. It gets delayed or they follow through. They've been following through.
I know.
So I'm kind of scared. And I'm scared meaning that I don't know if I should bet that they won't follow through. But they could. Because it's very profitable if they don't. So they might not follow through. Let's say the worst is they don't follow through.
Right.
So they postpone it to September for the Pro Dark Shining.
Ooh.
Dark Shanking, whatever. So people are gonna be like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool. We're gonna continue buying ETH and staking." 3.2. There's less and less liquidity, and people are keep putting it in, and it's normal. They'll just keep putting it in. They have a date. They're like, "Okay, September, cool." Bro, it's better than you saying, "Oh, you don't know. We don't know when we're gonna get it, but you get 20%."
Yeah. I mean, some of them
Hey,
been
they still
waiting
got
how
5.
long? Like 2
They
years?
still got 5. They still got 5% of the supply off of that. And now when they say, "Oh, May Shanghai update," okay, cool. Now imagine they say, "You know what? No, September delayed. We know September. Sorry." Still good. People are still gonna buy it. It's still better than we don't know when. You'll get 20 to 40%. You feel me? So you're still
Really?
getting
That
20, 40%.
much?
No, but
That's
think
the
about it. No,
APY?
but think about it. If you're really and it's controlled by 4 players. And if you go on each one of those players' options, they're not giving the same amount as if you were to go on like Lido or like if you were to go on like other options and do it yourself and provide the 32 ETH and then blah, 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 blah. Well, you get more. But if you look at it, okay, well, if it comes out on time, it's going to dump. Because then you got to think like Binance, I was reading their thing about the whole unstaking of Shanghai. And it's like they said, well, if you staked on ETH, you can withdraw. But if you didn't, and they said like they had this like 3 sentences basically to say, well, if you didn't stake on ETH and you staked with us, well, we decide when you fucking get it out. Basically.
No
like,
shit.
But there's 4 people that do that: Kraken, Coinbase, Lido, and Lido is probably the 5th, but there's another one. There's 4 of them, and they have most of it.
Is that going to be like a couple of days or a couple of?
We don't know. They decide. They decide. They have to go on chain, do everything, and then they take everything off. And
Wow.
The whole BETH that's the whole thing. I saw hold that shit. What the fuck is that? Like that's why I'm looking through and I'm like, okay, I'm reading shit. I'm like, oh, hold up.
Yeah.
They just said in 3 sentences. I can make an AI re-say it, but I'm scared to just put it out there where it's like, basically they're saying like, yeah, if you did it yourself, you have options because of the withdrawal allows withdrawals. But with us, you might not get the withdrawal because we might decide not to withdraw.
Well, I guess you know what I'm not. Why am I surprised? They've been doing that since like the freaking fork of Coinbase and Bitcoin Cash. They
But if they
those
let
coins.
people withdraw, it's gonna dump. Why are you telling me people, bro, 40% on ETH for 4 years?
Sure. Dude,
Rich
that
motherfucker.
would be a good day to just be ready with a couple of dry powder just to have gas for our long stakes.
Bro, there's 3.32% of ETH in liquidity in wrapped ETH. So like it's gonna like okay, at least V3 is there. Because if it was just V2, see, you're looking at like what 1.6, 1.7, it goes to 2. You're looking at 1,000 ETH, between 800, 900, 1,000 ETH. Because like obviously it's gonna be 3% dumped from 13% stake. Come on. Like think about it, 13% stake. How much could be dumped? They made 40%. I'm being very generous with these numbers. Like I'm saying 70% of what the rewards are is getting dumped.
Shit.
Like think about it. I'm not talking shit, bro.
That would
I'm trying to
be.
make people realize this shit.
Yeah, dude.
And
No,
then people are like,
that would be
and they're
a
like,
bloodbath for the price.
But no, it's going to be good. How are they going to put in liquidity? Where are they going to take? They're going to take a random 1.5 billion fucking stable coins.
They'll
And just say,
probably just do
yeah.
market orders wherever they keep.
They're going to be like, oh yeah, we have right here. They're going to be
like
this.
10%
They're gonna be
slippage.
They're going to be like this.
Yes.
They're going to be like 1.5 billion stable coin ready to pair to 1.5 billion of ETH. Let's go. More liquidity. No.
Wow.
They're going to have to fucking sell it into it.
No, I
And
mean
then slowly
they'll
build it up.
they'll lose all the money that they made for waiting. So they waited all this
liquidity
much.
Providers are like this, bro. They're like, I'm salivating. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, give me a second. And now we have 2 chains. 2 chains.
I'm using all of them. I'm using the ghost chains and everything. So we're gonna have 4 chains. I mean, I'm hoping
so
that
you use EW. You use EW.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm hoping that.
Why don't you go talk to Bullish? You should talk to Bullish.
Is he messing with
Spicy.
them? Nice.
And Hex is the way. Bro, we were
I haven't messed with it as much, but I figured,
beginning.
yeah, I got like stakes coming over there. I got Hedron pumping over there.
It's their chain now.
Nice. I'm telling you, man. I mean, I like it. It works fast. It's cheap. Gas is like 302 or something. So it's like I'm doing transactions over there. And what I've been doing is just basically the same strategy that we were doing through early 2020, where we were like setting up ladders for very, very cheap before the gas pumped. And my thinking is, well, once GUE is over 100, which I saw already a day over 100 like 4 days ago, but once it's every day of 100, people are not going to stop doing transactions. They're going to look for other options, and they're going to go for those ghost chains. I mean, I keep calling them ghost chains, but I've seen there's stuff moving over there.
I'm there too, so don't worry about it. But like,
there you go.
Hex is the way is a big advocate, and he's probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest people about it, and who's open about it. Says I DM'd you his tag.
Oh,
follow
nice.
him.
Awesome.
Tell him famous sent you. Just talk
to
to him about the chain if you guys want. Like, we're very, they're very connected.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, like at one point I remember thinking, you know what, you might want to have that chain or the other one running just for redundancy, because I mean, I see 2.0 way too compliant with OFAC. So I mean, I'm not that interested in that part of the game. You know what I mean? I don't need them to be like OFAC compliant.
Could be a problem. Could be a problem that pumps for a year, but
yeah,
it's there and it works.
There you go. Exactly.
Like I said,
exactly. I mean,
if they open a bridge one day,
if
they open a bridge one day and there's a ratio, you could profit. So like at the end of the day, why not? It's nothing, right? It's like what, $5 gives you like
we need to talk so that you can check that bridge that I'm talking about. Because I what bridge do you use? Like how do you
I've been asking everyone. So the way I don't use the bridge, I use the MEXC. I use the MEXC, but I also have
I checked them out where they wanted to ask me so much data and stuff. I never logged into them.
I was in Spain. I remember I was in Spain, and I used just the gas on all the shit wallets.
Oh, okay. So you onboarded with makes sense.
So and then I had this idea that like, well, what if the stable coins are down? And in my head, I was like, Ferrari would be nice. Okay, cool. Let me get.
It was a nice ratio with the stables over there.
No, but it didn't go nice. It was fucked. But then it went down.
No, it was going up and down though.
So then at one point I was just looking at it. I remember I'm just chilling on the balcony, I'm smoking my weed, and I'm just like, holy shit! Thank God I got on stable coins. And I'm like, oh fuck, that's how much I could get.
There you go. And then you cash out. So you did do the ratio. So I mean, it was just a lot of people saying they had no value.
No, I got Hex. I got Hex, and a couple of us did it like that. And then
that's how I got a couple million units of Hex.
And I was like, yo, that's not possible.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at the value. I'm like, I don't know how.
It's just it wasn't $1, but there was value there on the stable coin play. Yep.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'm good with what I have. I'm like, I have so much more than I have on ETH. Put that shit for stake. I'm not gonna really think. And then Hex is the way kept saying, yo, man, it works. It works.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, well, of course it works. But like we were like one day. I mean, thinking ETH fair
Yeah.
one day.
It's just
Pulsechain,
people extract value. So once they bottom, they bounced a little bit. So
ratio.
like when
It's the ratio,
exactly,
and what was in the
exactly.
pools. But
There
we
you
didn't
go.
have access to Uniswap. We had the Kyber, and then people were using on ETH fair. They were using Bitkeep. So like from my experience and the experience of people,
Mm.
it's not about cash, not about your money. Yeah, of course, how
There you
much
go.
you can get in with the money. Yes, money involves how much you get in, but it's about the ratio, liquidity,
Mhm.
all those relativities. And when I look at it, I'm like, that's why when I talk about PRC20s and bridging them to ETH, and then yes, here we go.
There you
You
go.
got to, so that's why I want to
That's
bridge
awesome. You did it
PRCs.
good, bro. Good for you.
So that's why that's why I want to bring the PRC20s to ETH, because in ETH you're gonna get a lot more liquidity than as if
Yep.
you just bring everything to Pulsechain.
Now
And
that now that you mentioned the liquidity, so were you having issues with the trades? Were you doing just little trades, like a ton of little trades, and I pump your price again? Dude, then you were there with me. Like I'm thinking, dude, it might have been you and me like fighting for those like little bit of liquidity there
so
or
if you
something.
drain the liquidity and there's no more
Yep,
value, then what
exactly.
happens?
Yep.
Exactly what's happening right now on
So that's what I
ETH.
was doing. I was just be like, all right, well, it says slippage is at like 10% if I do this many coins. So I'll be like, all right, well, I'm going to do 90% less coins. All right, now slippage is 2. All right, I'm going to do this trade. And then I would just keep doing the trade. Pump, 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 pump. And I mean, I had to be there for hours, man.
Oh, be careful what you say. X is the way it might know who you are.
They probably, I mean, at this point, I'm probably
Yeah,
doxed in the other chain, dude, because
yeah,
I'm telling you.
Some people might know, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
It's just, I
they're very
figured,
into it. It's
yeah,
Hex. Yo, you real Hex? You like Hex? Same fucking code
it's the
on
same.
both James
Yeah.
fucking game chains. And then
There
when
you go.
people were saying, nah, you shouldn't do it, I'm like, what? Same fucking code. But the W is the problem. But that's why with Pulse Chain, we're
Mhm.
gonna have the ability. And uh, you know what? Fuck it. I don't even have to show you guys. Just have to believe me. I
Mhm.
have a receipt from the Pulse Chain testnet from bridging from Pulse Chain testnet to Ring
Mhm.
P. So that means that you'll be able to take PRC20s to ETH. And if that happens, you got to think twice about your copy, because your copy is going to be worth so much more if people see it as I get the copy, I sell
Mhm.
it, I get the stable coin, I go buy the coin. Because if people
Yeah.
pair PLSX, like you got to think about this wrapped version of your PLSX on ETH, paired to
Yeah.
things that
EPLS.
people want.
Mhm.
We got liquidity, a lot of pools. There's a lot of fucking pools that this community has, and there's money. Market makers will make a market if you want to buy it, and people want to buy PLSX and PLS. Bro, you think people want to buy? Okay, right now I give you these coins:
Mhm.
Hedron, Icosa, Maxi, Desi, Team, Pleb, Pulse Doge,
Mhm.
ASIC, Weight. I give you Fiat, all these coins, and then I give
Mhm.
you Pulsex, Pulse Chain, and I say all these coins you can buy them all with USDC. Which one are you gonna buy?
I'm
Which
buying
one do you
X.
think these Hexkins want to buy? You got Pulsex, Pulse Chain, and
Mm.
P Hex.
I'm buying
Then
me
you
some
got
PX.
P Hedron. You got P Incentive. What do you want?
I'm buying me some PX, bro. I would go for PX. I mean, unless I'm getting such a great deal on PLSX and Pulse.
Yeah, but you're a noob. You just come from
Oh,
NFTs. You
you
have
mean if I
nothing.
wasn't okay? If I
Like,
was a
oh,
new,
you dude,
okay.
so
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
like,
like
so you're
even though
like
I
this,
got
okay? So you're
yeah,
like this, you're like this, you're like, okay, dude. So you telling me, dude, I got a copy on my NFT, dude? Awesome, dude. So I need some gas, dude. How I get the gas, dude?
exactly.
Oh, you got USDC? Oh yeah, I got USDC and ETH, dude. Yeah, for sure, dude. I got NFTs too. You got my copies? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, bro. So you just gotta trade your ETH and your SDC. You get PLS, and PLS when you bring it through the bridge, you get this. It's the gas. Awesome, dude. And you're telling me I got my NFTs on the other side, dude? Yeah, the same motherfucker. Awesome, dude.
Yep.
You know, it's like,
The thing though is like, how much gas are they actually buying? Like, if the beats are really cheap and they don't have like that incentive to just like what we're doing in ETH, the Guay so high.
Are they buying like a big old bag of Pulse?
They could be at the beginning because if you look at the percentage, right, it's usually like 1,000th of the supply. So 170 trillion, you gotta have like
To start,
10. You can have like in the
you mean like
tens of
from
billions.
Pulse to ETH?
Yeah, you're gonna have like tens of billions.
Yeah, it's like 1,037,000 or something like that. I mean, 1.037, something like that.
So we're gonna have 170 trillion or hundreds of
I
trillions.
don't even know what's the new supply. I know that if it was like 130
Let's say
to
it like this. Let's say it
150,
like this. If it's one more, it's 100 times more max because it will be 100 trillion, a quadrillion. So let's say it's trillion,
oh wow,
100 trillion, right? With 100 trillion, you're looking at 1,000th of that is what? 100 billion. So you're gonna have 100 billion paired to whatever it is at the constant liquidity that Hex is now, because Hex is at like what, 100 million right now? Not even 100 million Hex for 600 billion. So you got to take that ratio and look at the ratio of the other one and say, okay, well, if that's it, then how much it is. So you're looking at like, okay, 100 billion coins in a ratio pool of like millions of dollars.
are you thinking of making that play? Are you gonna try to go through the fork in a LP? Or are you gonna try to be liquid? What is? I mean, obviously you don't have to share your play, but like if you want to share, like if you had a chance to do that, would you?
So I have
Would you
no
do a
choice. Certain
liquidity
wallets, I
position?
have no choice to do whatever happens.
Oh, gotcha. I hear
I'm
you.
getting
Okay,
certain wallets I'm getting diluted. Certain wallets I'm getting shit.
I hear you.
The wallets that I focused on Hex, I'm
Mhm.
getting my copy. I've done my sacrifice.
Nice.
So when I look at it, I'm looking at fresh meat. So how am I getting my stuff in?
Gotcha.
So a lot of people don't understand that, like, since me getting Richard to say that he liked Hedron on stream,
Love
recorded,
it. So I mean, out of
till now,
all of those plays, wow. So if I would have
everything
put
I've done
you,
is around the fact that the ecosystem of crypto is going towards the fact that people want to do it themselves. So everything is about getting it yourself. I'm about it. I'm there. I'm in it. I want a piece. Because it's like I don't need you. I just need you to
yeah.
do it. Now the ones that I need you to do it
Mm,
are awesome, but the ones that I don't need you to do it,
mm,
the ones that is I do it and it's whatever I do that affects me, like Hex, anything built around Hex, that's a different game. But the ones that are like, oh well, give an example. I really like it. It's ironic, right? I'm famous fiat, um, ETH lend right here, holder, ICO holder.
oh, nice.
I'm in love with it.
What was
I
Lend?
don't,
Was Lend Ave or something? I don't remember Lend.
yeah. Turned ETH lend turned into Aave, and they had
Oh,
this
okay.
whole
Okay, cool.
ecosystem. They were supposed to like give out gaming and this
I
like,
don't
and
remember.
it was a whole fucking shit ton, but it ended up becoming whatever it became, and the competition is good. Now, it's not like, oh, I put everything in it, it's gonna restart. I like
Gotcha.
Puck. I like what it is. I know what its capability of what happens is. So you know what? Okay, let's recreate
Mm,
it. So I'm there in it as a fanboy, where it's like I know what you're gonna do. So let's do it. It's 100%. It's like I came back in time, and I'm like, yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see if it's
mm,
gonna do it again. But it's good competition. Now people need to
makes sense.
understand what that allows to happen. What that allows to happen is right now how people are like, oh, I know how this is moving. I know how the market's moving. Well, you could short it. Perfect. Degenerates are going to do it. You get a piece of that. That's what I like. That Binance, that Coinbase
Mm.
Pro, that Binance futures, those fucking OKX, the fucking all those things. I wish I got a piece of it.
Man, you're gonna be able to get all this stuff outside of the because I think that's all the stuff that they're just gonna try to get rid
Like
of.
GMX, you do that. Like people who got into GMX early, like, yo,
Mm.
dude, like, whoa. And they're gonna be another one. There's gonna be competition. It's gonna pop.
Mm.
Bro, there's so much shit that popped just because it could happen.
Yeah,
Like look at the Phantom chain, and like you had like Spirit
True.
Swap, you had fucking Spooky Swap, you had fucking Tomb, you had all these things, Hector, you had all these things that were getting
that was the
utilized.
stuff
Like,
you see. That was the stuff that I was trying to get away from back in like
yeah,
2020,
but it got
2021.
adopted. It was so
It
stupid, but it got adopted because people
it
just
did.
want
All the
gains.
food
And
costs, you're
imagine
right.
if they got real gains. They didn't get real gains. It was all bullshit. But imagine they got real gains.
Yep.
Bro, that shit's addicting. The fact that I know I'm getting real gains is the reason why I don't give a shit what the fuck I'm getting.
Yeah, at some point they were making some heavy gains in those. I mean, I would hear all the time. It's just that at least once a week or once a however often I would get a notification of someone got rugged, someone did, someone that, someone. So it's
Yeah.
like so I just try to
The
stay
biggest
away.
thing that the reason why I tell people also too is cake. Now, cake, my compounding.
Yep,
on
yep.
Cake. Oh, I don't want bro. That was mental. Compound, harvest, compound, harvest, compound, whatever the fuck I wanted. It was just do it and made it, and it just more, more, more. And the concept of getting like, even though it was complete like like I don't even know how to explain it. It was complete uttermost bullshit, and like you were kind of lied to, but you weren't. But like you were, and you knew it, but you were like, this is what it is. Anyways, I was so like you have a certain, your morals are like kind of like numb, right? So they're like, whatever, bro, it's gonna make money. So you made money off of it, but you understood the concept of like, okay, compounding.
Gotcha.
So then when they came out with the automatic compounding, I was just like,
Mhm.
oh shit. And it
I
wasn't
can't
even
wait
cake
for that on.
it wasn't
Yeah,
even
man.
cake that came out with that. It was Auto Farm. And then
I
Auto
didn't even
Farm
know
got an
about any of
exploit.
that until he announced
Auto
it for
Farm had an
PLSX.
exploit. Bro, Auto Farm
Oh,
came
really?
out with this auto compounding mechanism that did it. I think it was 8 times a day or something like some shit like that. Where I was like, okay, I went from like maybe between like 15 to like 20 something times compounding it a
Oh,
day
nice.
if I was there at the computer. Then I would just be like, oh, bro, it's auto compounding it perfect. So the Auto Farm, but then the Auto Farm had an exploit with Venus. So that's when you realize like this like third party bullshit. In my head, I was like, bro, I need something consistent. So I kept looking for things consistent. And then that's why when I learned that Hex was like consistent, I was like, dude, why is it
I liked
consistent?
it for the bear markets too, because I have been to way too many situations in old bear markets where I was just not making
Oh,
any,
it's
you
the
know.
first bear market though.
No, but I had been in, in Bitcoin and in
Oh, I
Ethereum and in
understand.
Litecoin
And
and
you
in
were
other
like, I need
coins. So I
something
had,
that's gonna
yeah,
just
no, I had seen exactly. I had seen where like everyone would tell me like, oh yeah, hodl, buddy, hodl, and then you're like seeing your price just, and then you're like, what are you telling me, bro? And then of course you can continue to keep DCAing and adding to your position, but then it's you're just spending your paycheck. You see your money just do the same because you put $100 and then every other day is like 5% down.
Yeah, but the
But
next week you buy more.
you're like, let me just add 5 more and it'll be the same position. But yeah, if you were either spending your crypto, which back then, I mean, I remember everyone telling me like, "Oh no, you need to use it because we need to spread awareness and we need to like everyone's gonna need to adopt this."
I bought a lot at 17. I remember at the last top, man, I was like, yo, you gotta go all in, all in. And it was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I did that, and then in
some people got
2018, as it's
mad.
going down, then I'm having to spend it because I was like wrecked, so I
But
needed
then
to like,
69, they all looked at me and went, oh shit. Should have kept it. And in my head, I'm like,
yeah,
should have kept it. I'm like, you know what you missed out on, bro? Remember when I told you Binance at $3? You dumb fuck. Look at it now.
yeah.
Yeah, $590. Oh, like, oh, imagine. And then you get this other thing. You look at this. Remember that little beaver I told you, the pancake swap, and you were like, bro, what the fuck is this bullshit? I'm like, bro, man, because that's something I couldn't get people to get. And I'm like, oh, look at this pancake swap. And they're like, what? And then they would look at the site. They'd be like, bro, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, bro,
Dude, I can't. I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to be on.
Pulsex is just
similar
slick,
to PLSX.
black, green. Just, bro, it looks like it makes money.
Oh, it will.
Straight cash.
But
baby.
yeah, I'm gonna be heading out, man. It was awesome to hang out with you guys.
Thank you so much, man.
It was a pleasure, man. Thank you for coming on.
You got it, guys. Thank you. So I'm just gonna be hanging out with you guys probably later in the week or on Spaces. So when I'm not, working on the taxes thing, I'm probably just gonna be hanging out in Spaces and just spreading the good word of Hex and Pulse. So
Let's go, man. You want to do a little show where everyone can find you? Even though they know
sure. Okay. So anyone, Identity Block on Telegram, Twitter, or YouTube, have a little channel on YouTube. I started it, I think, sometime in 2018. Shout out to Richard because it was his, idea. He was back then telling anyone, if you have something to say, just say it. And I started doing videos in Spanish because I wanted to spread blockchain awareness in Puerto Rico. And I thought, sure, everyone's going to be getting into this. The market was down. So I thought it was a good time to get a new channel in, starting in the bear. And nobody in Puerto Rico was interested. Everybody would just get away from it. So at least I continue to do it. Later, I started doing videos in English. Later, videos more for Hex. Now I just try to still do like blockchain. I call it blockchain trends. So I try to just do what's going on, what, fraud, regulation, that type of stuff. So on YouTube. So thank you so much, guys.
Awesome, man.
You got
thank
it.
you.
Have a great one, Rome.
Stay safe.
Of course, man. You too. I'll do the outro.
If you want to, but if you want to talk a bit more, Rome, it's up to you. You busy with the kid?
I mean, I could talk. What do you want to talk about?
Just what's up with you, man? What's up with the shorts and everything? Let's go, man. Show that shit.
I haven't done it. I've been slacking on the shorts, but they haven't been
You
getting.
motherfucker, you haven't said a word the whole fucking time, bro.
This is great. I was busy a lot with the baby, but
I know.
I was listening. I was listening.
I'll catch you in spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you, everyone who was in the
what's that
chat.
Icosa? Icosa's at 64 cents. Hex is at 6 cents, 6.1. Hedron 2116. Oh, it's dropping.
I should do a bit of spiel, actually. You know what? Just a little spiel. I'm gonna do a little spiel. Okay, so we got. How do I start this? So we got the opportunity. We got people that purchasing 60, well, let's say $65,000 worth of Hex for $22,000. You got the Icosa staking. You got the Hedron staking. You got Hex right now pumping because you could have got it at a crazy ass fucking low, which we told you to get at a low because you would have got it and it would have came back. Next, you have the opportunity to get copies because PRC20s are going to be available on ETH to be purchased. I'm confident of that. You got the whales suppressing the price. You got God Whale ratcheting up the T shares because he has to. You have the OA diluting itself because if you stake more than the percentage of the OA that it had, like the OA is at a certain percentage staked. So if you stake more than the percentage, then it stakes of itself. Then you are outpacing the OA. Therefore, the OA dilutes itself because everyone's at 100% stake and the OA isn't. So enjoy. You're diluting the OA. Enjoy. Enjoy. I guess that's it. So Romanian, have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow, maybe, if I could stay up.
All right. It's been a pleasure, man. I didn't say shit
Catch you on
this.
Spaces.
All right. I'll see you in the spaces. I'll do the outro. Here we go.
Yeah, Hexkin.
Dump it! Dump your shit! What are you, some
sort of hexacan.